Maldives is formed with 100% coral, creating a rich marine diversity. The coral reefs are 7th largest in the world, making up some 5% of the global reef areas. The coral reefs of the Maldives is home to 250 species of coral and over 1,000 fish species. Lying only 2.5 meters above sea level, Maldives is one of the countries most threatened by sea level rise. Many Maldivian reefs have been damaged by mining and dynamiting. Why? For reclamation of land, building houses and dredging harbours. This behavior of destroying coral at a large scale had catastrophic consequences as erosion. So the natural protection of the islands disappeared and large concrete seawalls were erected. Another unexpected consequence occurred gradually.
Para masterikama warabadati gulungure. Paruta kallibe gellentam murakata maruma. Ehem kunu gadawuma. Ekahada mastereta umle mi paruta ku mi eteramarin baanama. Algodu men atolo ga alifuga. हम मेदुकड़ में नती अलवड़ में हम एंदम मंगन तो नहीं हम दिल्ली एक मको मिहारो हम एक गो तो कब से अमेरिकन नेती
Pascal Chabane is a marine biologist researcher in the French Research Institute for Development.
Birds are dependent on trees in tropical forests. Fish are dependent on corals for their protection and to find food. The other important role of coral reef is that they are a protection for the coast, and if it's a barrier reef, is like a wall that will break the big swell, the big wave, the tsunami, for example. Because of coral reef, Maldives exists. Maldives owe their existence to coral reef. With no coral reef, no future for Maldives.
Tourism and fisheries, Maldives' two largest industries, are heavily dependent on a healthy and diverse marine ecosystem. It provides 3/4 of jobs, 90% of GDP and 2/3 of foreign exchange. For several years, Maldives were not aware of the importance of taking care of environment, particularly coral reef conservation. But it has been changing. For 16 years, Mari worked as a reef ecologist in the Marine Research Center. Now she's educating people on preservation of environment.
There's nothing much we can do about global warming, but there's a lot we can do as a society, as humans, to decrease the impacts on the coral reef and to increase its resilience so that it can survive from the natural disturbances of global warming. In Maldives, our biggest challenge is to manage the solid waste. To do that, we really need to educate everybody, from the youngest to the oldest, about solid waste management.
Murray wants to show Pascal the coral propagation experiment developed 5 years ago by her husband at Four Seasons Resort in the Maldives. This experiment is based on the capacity of corals to regenerate from fragments. First step is to collect coral fragments.
Basically, the principle behind this coral propagation is it's a natural process which is called asexual reproduction. So we break corals down to pieces, and from one piece it's able to grow again another colony. So what we are doing is we are reproducing here all the favorable conditions, which is basically stability of the fragment, contact with the hard substrate, and good water quality, and then we can actually ensure the survival of almost 80% of our fragments, even more than that. Even now in the north of the Maldives we have so little coral, about 5% coral cover, that this will actually would help actually the reef. I said this one, I expect it to be 10 centimeters long in about 1 year time. We can't say that we need to transplant square kilometers of these corals, because these corals, what happens is they will grow into a colony. Those colonies will spawn, and the planula from those colonies, they will also spread just like all the other ones.
Until now, the project has deployed over 1,500 square meters of structures covering an area of 1 hectare. The project has transformed previously empty reef flats into thriving marine ecosystems. This restoration experiment is helping 6 reef flats across the country to revive.
What is interesting also with the restoration project is that you have corals that grow, and the corals are really the starting point to attract fishes. So it's like a tropical underwater forest, and you have fishes, and for tourism it's great to see these fishes around corals.
This project is supported by some resorts in Maldives. The idea is to get the tourists involved in the reef restoration. They can pay for a frame and place it underwater.
We've had very great guest reactions. Guests want to be involved and want to be part of a green project and do something good even while on vacation.
Is not the only one solution, and I think what is important also through this kind of experiment, it's education part of the experiments. You know, just to realize that coral are alive, you know, they can grow, and they are not only used to build houses. I think it is very important to realize that.
While each year about 1 million tourists visit Maldives, if only 1% of them would sponsor one coral frame, it would mean 10,000 coral frames each year. It would mean the coral restoration will be equivalent to the surface area of 4 football grounds each year. Scientists are already conducting research on genetic selection of species in order to increase the resistance of the reefs against the threat of global warming. For the survival of Maldives, we have to save our reefs.